Today it's time for a professional match of StarCraft 2, and what I've got for you is a Zerg versus Terran that was recently played as part of the World Championship Series. Now, I didn't get to see this game live, but several of you reached out on Twitter after this series was played and mentioned that I should really go ahead and cast this on my YouTube channel. So I have no idea what to expect, but apparently this game right here is a bit of a wacky one. So we'll dive into it together. Spawning here in the southeast corner of Thunderbird and playing with the red Zerg drones. From Mexico, we're looking inside of the main base of Cham. A very popular player, of course, from Latin America. His opponent from France, playing with the blue Terran SCVs, we have none other than MarineLorD. Alrighty, so I'm really curious what makes this game strange, what makes this game so wacky. I mean, that's what someone used when it tweeted at me, okay? I like the word wacky, it's one of the top 10 English words for sure. But anyways, when it comes to the Zerg versus Terran matchup, right? There's only really so many different openers and weird strategies that you can really go for, right? I kind of feel like I've seen the majority of it, but obviously that's one of the beautiful things about a game like StarCraft. Strategies are continuously changing, people figure out new build orders all the time, and while they might not necessarily become the new gold standard, sometimes they are indeed played, especially in best of 3 and best of 5 series, just to try and catch the opponent off guard. It's pretty cool. For example, in StarCraft 1, right? Like a game that really hasn't been patched very much over really the last 2 decades. I mean, it's gotten some changes here and there. There's new strategies coming out in that game continuously as well. I know there was a balance update, obviously, relatively recently, but I mean, with relative, we're still talking a couple of years. And strategies in StarCraft 1 are still continuously developing, partially also due to the fact that maps are changing. So basically, whenever there's like, for example, a clear obvious advantage for Protoss players, they will make a map that's not as Protoss favored. And then all of a sudden, it completely changes the meta. But anyways, we'll see what this game is gonna bring. So very standard opener right here from both players. MarineLorD going for that quick expansion on the low ground. Going Reaper first, of course. This will give him all of the scouting information that he really requires here in the early game. And it should allow him to figure out as well what is going on the other side of the map. So here we go. Zerging speed has been acquired, but Cham actually decides to leave the drones in gas. Now this could be due to the fact that he wants to get himself a quick overlord speed. This map can actually be really tricky for scouting purposes, just because, you know, there's quite a lot of zoning. Look at that already. Oh, I love this kind of move. This is something that we don't see nearly enough, okay? With so many Zerg players going for a super quick third hatchery, Zergling speed is never going to be done in time to prevent this kind of stuff, right? So if you know where your opponent is going to send the overlords, this is 100% worth it. Now, we do have Numatized Carapace coming up. Still no third base, by the way. So that's obviously the reason as to why he decided to go for the overlord speed. He wants to figure out exactly what's going on, but losing that overlord is painful. Delaying the third base here is rather painful as well, and this is going to make this whole game start off a little bit poorly here for Cham. A lot of resources have been invested into an upgrade that's obviously going to come into play in a little bit. I think this boy right here is going to end up scouting as well, but we'll see what exactly his plan is as this game progresses onwards. A very quick third command center. Okay, so this is one of the builds that I personally like a lot as well. So basically you can go 1 barracks, 1 factory, 1 starport, or you can go 1 barracks, 1 factory, 1 command center, 1 starport, right? So this is obviously a greedier version of the build. Thing is, if you manage to kill that overlord early on, there we have it. It's going to be scouted right now. What is Cham going to do? How can he possibly counter this at this point in the game without going completely all in? And indeed, we see Cham just simply going ahead and building up his drone count. Now, there's one cheeky SCV right here moving to the left-hand side of the screen. I'm not entirely sure what he would be planning on that. Anyways, so basically, going for this, right? It delays any kind of Stargate unit with a pretty significant margin, right? I mean, obviously, everything is going to be a little bit... Oh my god. Oh, he's proxying the fusion core. Ooh, I was going to say, what exactly is his plan here? Anyways, this delays pretty much everything that he wants to go for, to the point where maybe Cham is going to be baited into a false sense of security. This whole game so far is 200 IQ, by the way, from MarineLorD. Killing the Overlord, going for the quick third command center, knowing it would be scouted as well. He just, he does decide to go for that tech lab right there on the starport. Right now, though, the Overlord is coming in and it sees that nothing's being produced. Thing is, normally you could figure out right now if it's gonna be a Battlecruiser play because you would see, I mean, the fusion core right there behind the mineral line, or maybe right over here. That's exactly what Cham is looking for right now. He's scouting the full main. He's like, okay, you're playing greedy. This is one of the builds that's not very common. Oh my god, the queen's actually turning on each other for a little bit. But this is one of those builds that's not super common for Terran. So maybe Cham is not 100% familiar with all of the timings either. And this base right over here on the left-hand side, I mean, I don't know if we can call it a base, but this is gonna go completely unscouted. There's no way that Overlord is gonna go there, right? I don't think so anyway. Another Overlord is gonna go in. Ay, ay, ay. Cham wants to figure out exactly what's happening. And he's figuring out roughly what's happening, right? He sees, okay, there's something being produced. Now, the timing of this, like, it's already sort of indicative of something aggressive coming out of it, right? So, if this would be a Liberator, if this would be, for example, a Banshee, it would have already shown up, right? He hasn't seen the little green light inside of the tech lab either, so he's not, or he's aware that it's not gonna be the Banshee cloak upgrade. Yeah, he actually decides to start up Spore Crawlers. I like this a lot. These spores right here indicate that he is assuming that it's gonna be Battlecruiser play nonetheless. Which actually is very cool as well, because he hasn't seen the fusion core, and obviously that one can be made anywhere. Still though, 4th base is coming up right now. There's actually only spores in the main. Okay, so he's assuming, once again, there's a lot of assumptions being made here. He's assuming that the Battlecruiser is gonna jump straight across the map towards the main. Now, normally, in a normal build, we see the first Battlecruiser being out at 5:30. Right? So, maybe even a little bit sooner than that. So, Cham knows that there was a quick 3rd command center. Right now, he will figure out, okay, it's still not out. What exactly is going on here? This is a little bit odd. He should start being extremely cautious. So he actually starts up some safety banelings here, starts making some Hydralisk as well, even goes for a Roach Warren, because even though he went for the Overlord speed upgrade, he doesn't actually know exactly what's going on. He knows that something's not quite right. If this was a ladder game, he probably assumed that his opponent is bad, but here we go, the big boys have arrived. 2 Battlecruisers showing up at a very unorthodox timing, hitting at a very weird angle, not going towards the main base. 7 drones rather, already have gone down. At the same time, the Hellions are pressuring the front right here. MarineLorD seemingly pulling a rabbit out of a hat, but it's a very calculated rabbit, right? It's a weird opener that not a lot of Zerg players will really have seen. Proxying a starport and then also going for a double Battlecruiser follow-up. Even going for the Yamato cannon upgrade. I don't know if this Battlecruiser over here is going to finish, because those upgrades do take a very long time. Or rather, those units do take a very long time. Actually, the Hellions are going to try and go over there to prevent this from going down. Hydras are out, but you know what? Like, if there's one unit really bad at dealing with Battlecruisers, especially without their ranged upgrade, it's going to be those Hydras. Now, they do end up killing one of them. So that's nice and all, but look at the cost efficiency here already. That's insane. Okay, Yamato cannon is done. Hellions did manage, by the way, to save that starport. So that, at the very least, is going to get itself another one of those Battlecruisers out. That one also now teleports across the map. It's been joined with a buddy that was produced inside of the main base of the Terran player. And Cham, I mean, you're in a little bit of trouble, buddy. You don't even need Yamato cannons right now. I mean, you can, though. There you go. It does one-shot a queen, of course. And there we go. 2 of them end up falling in just a matter of seconds. Even, a Yamato cannon right there being utilized on the Spore Crawler. So the thing is, these units do a lot of damage to light. And, well, Hydralisk are light. They don't have their... Honestly, I kind of feel like if you see more than one Battlecruiser, you almost have to go, like, either Vipers or Corruptors. These boys are gonna get so much damage done. Or girls, I guess. I don't know, but... Oh my god. This is a disaster. Now... It looks like eventually this starport over here will be shut down. Fusion core now also being killed here by those Zerglings. A couple of Hellbats are joining the fray now too. They're going after the 4th base. This is forcing some of those Hydras to not be fighting those Battlecruisers. And that means these Battlecruisers, man, they are getting so much work done. I love this. You guys know I'm a big fan of the Battlecruiser, right? The Battlecruiser was not used for like the first 9 years of me watching StarCraft 2. And nowadays, while it's not very common anymore because most of the common builds are just simply figured out, Zerg players know how to defend against it, they certainly are still worth their weight in gold when they are used effectively. What a cool style. Dude, he actually makes another fusion core. Oh my god. Dude, now that's like mostly Cham playing himself though, right? So he's like, okay, finally, I've shut down the starport, I've shut down the fusion core. No one's gonna reproduce another fusion core, right? Wrong. So in a way, he's kind of playing himself here because he probably assumes Oh my god, so many Battlecruisers or so many command centers coming up as well. He probably assumes at this point that it's not going to be continued Battlecruiser play, and because of that, he likely is gonna stick around on Hydralisk tech. Now, Hydralisks, they are obviously pretty good. I mean, they got their ranged upgrade right now. They really need their speed upgrade as well. The muscular augments. Very helpful. But anyways, they are pretty good, but they're not gonna be that reliable when it comes to 4 Battlecruisers being produced at once. How are you gonna deal with that? Oh my god, I love this as well from MarineLorD. He's only shown 3 Battlecruisers being alive right now. He could harass with more right now, but instead he's only showing the 3. He's like, yeah, no, these are just the Battlecruisers from earlier. Don't worry about it. Totally makes sense. A couple of infestors right now, by the way, are coming up. Oh, that's so dirty. That is so dirty. Yeah, no, this is a mind game to the max from MarineLorD. Accepting that his opponent is very good, realizing what's likely gonna happen and what the response is gonna be, and then just simply playing the 3D chess game out, you know? Like, both players trying to outsmart each other, but MarineLorD certainly getting the advantage right here in the mind game. Dude, he's gonna have how many here? It's gonna be 10 Battlecruisers. What are you gonna do against 10 Battlecruisers when you own Hydralisks? It's like, yeah, you can get a fungal growth, you can prevent them from jumping across the map, but that doesn't matter when everything dies? Well, maybe he can get one. Nope. MarineLorD is on top of it. Not gonna allow him to get any free pickings. And on the back of this, how many how many command centers do we have? That's 2 of those, 1 of those. Then we have 4 orbitals as well. There's a lot of mining just about to happen here for MarineLorD, who's mostly just using this, right, to step up his income game. But who called in the fleet? Look at the amount of Battlecruiser boys ready to fly across the map. Ah, okay. What a cool game. Now, I don't want to predict the future, but I've got a feeling that Cham is gonna see this and then roll over. What are you gonna do? Yeah, no, oh my god, even the infestors get hit right there in the face. Okay, so here's the reason right here, okay, in case you're unfamiliar as to why you don't really want to run Hydralisk against Battlecruisers. Like, the fleet flies over it, a little bit of Miss Micro right there by MarineLorD ends up losing one of those BCs for free, but it does not matter as he still ends up obtaining the victory. So let me try and reiterate what happened here, right? So first off, Cham decided to go for Zergling speed into Overlord speed. Overlord speed on paper should give you all of the scouting information that you need. However, you obviously delay yourself that 3rd base for quite a bit. MarineLorD, however, sent out a Marine to kill the very first Overlord that was making its way across the map. And from there on out, Cham found himself in a bit of an awkward spot. Because he knew that he needed to still produce that 3rd hatchery, and he knew that he lost that first Overlord. He decided to go ahead and do so. But MarineLorD used that time to his advantage and decided to not go for a Barracks Factory starport, but to go for Barracks Factory Command Center starport, allowing him that faster economy. Now, MarineLorD knew by judging from the timing of the 3rd hatchery that it was likely going to be Overlord speed. He knew that his opponent probably doesn't have as much experience playing against that unorthodox 1-1-1, so he decided to go for the 3rd command center first and then the starport. So he figured, you know what, I'm gonna go ahead and put up a 2nd starport somewhere else on the map, and then also a fusion core. The chances of that getting scouted are very, very small, and then also going for the 3rd base there rather than the main when the first Battlecruisers came out is actually also very clever. Cham seemed to know roughly what was going on. I mean, he decided to go for 2 spores in the main, which did indicate that he knew that it was likely gonna be Battlecruisers, but he wasn't entirely sure because he didn't build any spores over in the natural in the 3rd. It all just sort of started crumbling down for him. And then after the fusion core got killed as well, right? MarineLorD's like, you know what? I'm just gonna go ahead and produce 2 more starports, or I guess 3 more starports. And maybe he actually flew the first one that was burning. But anyways, he decided to just add on additional starports and then also go for a 2nd fusion core and continued producing more and more Battlecruisers. And then that final move, right? I like that one a lot as well, where you harassed with only 3 Battlecruisers, only showing 3, even though he had like, I think he had like 6 out or so at that point in the game, indicating to his opponent that it was only those 3 from earlier and that he could certainly stick around on just Hydralink Bane for the foreseeable future. What a game. If you enjoyed watching this video, make sure you hit that like button as it helps me out with the YouTube algorithm. as with your like, it might actually indicate it to others as well that, you know, it's a good video and that you enjoyed it, so maybe others will enjoy it as well. So do me a favor, hit that like button, and if you want to see more, make sure you hit that subscribe button so you get notifications as soon as I upload more. A special shout out to the Patreon supporters. Thank you for your generosity. But for now, I want to thank you for watching. Have an amazing day. Do not forget to smile, alright? And I will see you once again in the next one.